Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. Last time, the party had an in-depth discussion about what they think they should do about this former necromancer turned lich, Alvernus Westgo, who seems to be harrying the party from afar with zombies, and in the midst of determining the state of affairs of their former friend Christopher Crimson Plain, the party has gained a belief that Alvernus may possess either a spell or a magic item that allows him to intercept sendings to others. And if this is true, it would be incredibly bad for the party, if not the world. And in the middle of going through all of the worst-case scenarios and how to deal with this, the party was reminded that Vendar was being summoned by Katerina Belgrin, Empress of Aspara herself, such that he could be reinstated as a nobleman of Aspara on his sister Lilith's orders, as it were. They were led up to the top of the Dawn Spire, where a small ceremony was performed by Empress Belgrin. He put his name in a book. He got a very, very finely crafted box with a nice new signet ring and a letter giving him authority. And then, before they were allowed to leave, Empress Belgrin informed the party of the recent lack of communication with Asparan soldiers or Ebengardian soldiers in Ebengard as they fight back the dragons that have risen and moved up into Ebengard. During the course of this discussion, the party learned that the children of Tiamat moved into Ebengard and took over the area to the northeast, which includes Watchtower Point, the birthplace of Leah, Lumos, and the soldiers had been maintaining a cordon around the area ever since then, fighting what dragons would try to reach further. And that was the last bit of information she had about the area before they lost communication entirely. And so, the party is now faced with the decision of how they wish to proceed. You were, as of last episode, dismissed by Empress Belgrin, so you may leave the throne room, descend the Dawn Spire, and head back to Warhunter Lodge, or wherever it is that pleases you, to make your next move. So, please, tell me what you would like to do.
Laramendis is going to head towards 400 Lodge on the assumption that everyone else is intending to do the same. So, that is the direction that he's going to be going in. Unless somebody says differently.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'd go back to.
Okay. So, you are escorted back down the Dawn Spire by the guards, who are silent as they lead you fore and aft. You reach the front doors, and the guards depart. You are still wearing, those of you that had it, your formal attire, and you do not have your weapons. Your gear is in the lodge. So, even if you don't plan to have a discussion, you will want to retrieve your things there. And Laramendis, you return to the... I guess we can call it the study?
Sitting room, I suppose?
Yes. Different from the... well, there's the foyer area, the den, as it were. But yes, this place actually has tables. The other one doesn't. The other one's got a bar.
So, we need to decide on exactly how we are going to be spending our immediate time. Since we have a few things that are pressing and could do with our attention.
You say a few. We always got something to do of late.
Which just means that we need to be judicious in our allocation of resources. Running into the wall.
You can't get
Sure.
It
in.
was on a higher floor.
Oh. We'll open up the doors. What did he went up?
Yeah, on the third floor.
Sorry, Larmendus, continue on.
Right. If you open threads, we need to be judicious with our resources. So we have told the player is forgetting Vendar's brother's name, the one who is with the army.
Thandros.
Thandros?
Thandros. Thandros.
We told Thandros that we would be going to speak with him and thus the army very soon. I think we had said that we would try to get there within a few days when we had spoken with him via Ash, where we would try to convince the army toward our intention to seal the dragons instead of killing them all. Since going in as unprepared as they are is going to result in the death of many, many, many people. When the army begins to move, that's going to become more and more difficult to convince them of. So, bit of a time pressure there. We also now have the more the concerning information that we've gained regarding Alvernus and Christopher's well-being, which will take time to investigate and then seek out Alvernus and deal with him in a hopefully more final manner than being eaten by a dragon. Am I forgetting a third thing, or Larmendus was saying that to the group?
No, we pretty much decided that we're not going to try to save Owen. So yeah, I think we should
suppose that
probably.
could technically have been on the list and then discarded, but
I think we should probably go to speak to the army and Thandros first, and hopefully convince them to stand down, and then we can go after Avernus. So we should try to hurry.
does anyone else have a strong desire to pursue Alvernus more urgently?
I personally do not. I think your way of thinking is reasonable or sounds good.
Armendus had nodded when the Vendar had said his bit, and then nodded after Yukikaze, and then looks to the next person.
You might have to call names.
Okay, who's closest to me? The next person would probably be Leah is closest to me, so Lermundus turns to Leah.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement with Yukikaze and Vendar that the immediate action we should take is to be leaving Everwatch and going to speak to Thandros and the army about our intentions there, or do you think that, or would you prefer to spend our time trying to glean information about Elvernus and what he's doing, where he is, and everything around that to try to put a stop to the Lich?
Difficult. I feel like I would want to go with the first option.
Tremendous nods. And then, like, who would look at next? So, next would be Raiken.
Of course, we should go after them and towards the dragons, as probably what's going to be the case is we're going to run into Elvernus or more of his antics anyways if he's gunning for us. So we probably don't really have to search for him.
And Jebel?
I think going after Thandros.
Yes.
Thandros is probably because that's something I think that we would do, but like finding out more about Elvernus, whatever his name is, we could probably set that task to someone else, and they could keep us appraised of that. That's not necessarily something that we have to do ourselves. So
We can certainly go and speak with the Temple of the Raven Queen about what we know regarding Elvernus, and
set them to it.
I am not entirely sure how much they would be able to do to put a final stop to him soon, but
If they don't need to, I think a lot of it is just, prep work. They find
yes,
out more information or anything.
they can certainly attempt to use, we can hope that they will use their resources to gain information that will be able to be taken advantage of.
Well, we can't do two things at the same time, but we might be able to do 1.5 things.
It's also entirely possible Elvernus follows us. Seems to have a particular grudge against us.
I know the
That is
story,
true.
right? You remind me that you have told me the story of this guy.
Yeah, in the last couple.
Yeah, then I'd say, well, yeah, you fed him to a dragon, so.
But really, the dragon did it
Fed
of
him
her own volition. We did not feed him to the dragon. It was more of a
We
fit
resurrected
of
the
anger.
dragon he had murdered.
And we were
she-
not going to
Oh.
stop the dragon from, doing what she wanted to do.
It was less that
Splitting
we
hairs.
fed him to the dragon, and more that we got the hell out of the way when she tried to eat him.
We allowed it to happen because that would be a dumb idea. Excellent then. So I think that we should probably settle on what exactly we want to say to Thandros and to the people in the army who he will be able to point us towards, so that we have an idea of what we're doing before we go there. And then we are able to get there via... did we decide that that plane shifting from a demiplane worked? Or is it 2 plane shifts?
I mean,
Just to
since
know if
you-
I'll be expending an 8th level spell slot or a 9th level spell slot. It doesn't really like matter either way.
I can't see a reason that it wouldn't work. It
Okay.
is a different plane. That seems to be the only stipulation.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't see anything in the wording that said it has to be one of the primary planes.
Yeah.
Either the origin or the destination, so you should be able to just go between any two planes with plane shift. So if you use demi-plane to get off of the material plane, and then you plane shift to get back to the material plane, that seems in line with the rules to me.
Mhm. Cool. So when we have settled on our plan of discussion, we will be able to leave almost immediately. Since I think both of the spells required are technically just an action.
That's good.
Demiplane is an action.
Pretty sure plane shift is
Plane shift
something
is
you can do
probably
in
an
combat
action.
too.
Yeah. So once we've decided that we're leaving, we can be there in 12 seconds. Or be close in 12 seconds.
And just so that, because I know that there's been a little bit of confusion whenever this discussion has come up, you do have tuning forks for both the Feywild and the material plane. I know that you don't need them if you decide to wish, but you do have those two. You got both of those tuning forks when you went to the university.
Right.
Because
is in
Leah
possession of
had
those.
Leah had her original tuning fork, and she just had it tweaked at the university because it was A, and she got it moved to C.
Yeah.
And then you got the Feywild tuning fork. You just purchased that straight up, and both of these forks you got from your contact there, Blair.
Yeah. When we do go, I think that we should probably send to Thandros to inform him of our arrival and probably give him a bit more of a heads up, since we could theoretically end up anywhere on the island, and a group of 6 highly armed people popping into, say, a command center is probably not something that would be met in entirely friendly terms. So, other people should also be aware of our imminent arrival.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Send away.
I think that it's also a good
Uh.
idea for us to settle on what exactly we want to say to them before we are there.
I would also like to say goodbye to my sister and mother and brother before I leave. It's gonna take 12 seconds.
I mean, it would be a little longer for everyone to get into the demiplane and things of that nature. But yes, we can plan for whatever time it will be. We're still getting there sooner than if we had left when we first spoke with him.
Ooh, I thought of something evil.
Oh,
I'm putting on my
Uh.
armor and I'm being prepared if we're gonna move planes. Because if that Yahoo can intercept communications, who says he can't change your destination for your plane shift when we go to plane shift?
I don't have any idea what we're gonna do. We don't have access to us here. I guess, be ready for anything. But
I mean, we should probably either be very visibly unarmed, or, I mean,
It's just
I
a
don't know.
thought. It's just a thought that crossed my mind. I just want to throw it out there.
My belief around what Elvernus is doing is that he has either warded some area, either via some spell that he has devised or an item that he has found or created, or and that anything going into the area is what is intercepted and modified, or he has given Christopher himself some kind of cursed item that is doing the same kind of thing.
Well, that's fine.
I don't think that it's something he's doing to us or on the scale of a plane.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna be prepared just in case. So I want enough time to get my armor on and all that jazz.
Absolutely.
Get prepared.
The saying that we could be there in, I suppose 18 seconds is more reasonable, but was merely to convey that once we decide to move, we can do so very quickly.
Okay.
Whenever that ends up being.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go get around. If we're done talking and we're good.
I would like to settle on what exactly we're saying to them.
I'm not good with this. I should practice with being public speaking, but I'm not good coming up with freaking good dialogue.
I do think that your status does convey some weight, though, which we can probably take advantage of. Your status as the wielder of those artifacts.
Yeah, I got you. I'm drawing a blank now. Where are we going?
I can't remember the name of the island. Storm something?
Storm refile.
Storm
Yeah.
refile.
I only remembered the storm part too.
And what are we doing there again? My brain just completely
We
crapped out of me.
we are going to the Storm refile is where Tatsuya's army is currently located. So
Oh,
we're going
yeah.
there to talk with them, to basically try and talk them down from the suicide mission that is go and get the other scale from the Lich, and then go and fight 5 dragons at the same time.
Yes. Okay.
And instead come with us to go and fight 4 dragons and put them and seal them.
And then bolster our strength and then kill. Alright. It's gonna be challenging thinking about words to sway them. You guys know if none of those individuals that were in his army, or none of those were in the city that was attacked by the dragon, right? Well, the dragons probably have attacked quite a few places by now.
I would be I would be surprised if there were not people in the army who are survivors from any of the. There are going to be survivors from every single major dragon attack that are part of his army. Those are the kinds of people that would be easiest to recruit. There might not be many, depending on the scale of the attacks. But I imagine that, for example, he would have a reasonable time recruiting people from Tuca who saw their loved ones on the other side of the wall.
Revenge is a powerful motivator.
And when the dragons are sealed, if we have to weaken them or weaken them before we seal them, they'll probably stay weakened for a while. Oh, depends on how long we can get more people.
I mean, I'd guess you'd say weekend for like a long rest.
That's true. But still, even if we seal them, and then we also get plenty of rest and more tools. Now, does Nalia want... Nalia's been working with creating magic armor and trying to create artifacts. We don't want to make...
We had not previously left Nalia any residuum to be working with. I have fixed that, but
Okay, so
I don't believe she is currently in possession of large numbers of magic items. I would be surprised if she spent her time not delving into some theory about things, but it would have been difficult to actually perform any of the work without large amounts of residuum.
that's a good point. Well, just thinking about... So I'm thinking for like starting them and getting them to understand is also what steps we've taken. What we have accomplished in our journey, and say, so like we're now the voice of change, and we're trying our best to help cities and places as we've traveled, and like now we've gotten people to hold or to take step forwards, like getting to acknowledge and respect the drow, that they're not just horrible people. So they aren't. And like telling them that now we have drow that we've befriended that would also come and join and fight with us, and be another step for working together as a group to fight the dragons. More people that might be willing to help, I should say. Just I'm wondering if we take the choice for our how should I say, the tools we have gathered and the connections we have made to increases our chance of success. That we're not just trying to stop them from defeating dragons. We're just trying to increase our chance of success.
Yeah, we should. If we can convince them that we'll be much better prepared in a year than we are now.
And
Like
that we are... Yeah, that we're not giving up, and we're not just saying seal them. We're saying we don't have the capability of defeating them at this moment, but we have worked toward getting that capability.
Yeah, like especially if we have enough residuum, or if we can learn to make residuum, then we could create large quantities of just lightly or small and enchanted, like a sword's much better, even if it's magical sword, even if it's only a small enchantment, simply because it's doing magical damage then instead of...
And it's not for us, it's something we can give to everyone.
Yeah, if we could, if we had enough residuum that we could equip entire armies with magical weapons.
And also getting all the scales, instead of releasing dragons one by one separately, if we have all the scales in one location and make sure the dragons don't know we have that, and release them relatively near each other, like release one, defeat them, then release the next one, defeat them, release the next one, defeat them, like in sequence, because it doesn't because the information we had, is just trying to remember correctly, right, guys, is that it doesn't have to be simultaneously killed. They just have to be pretty close together.
But
As
we
I
don't know
understand
what close
wasn't it
together is in that regard.
Yes.
I thought like it could be in the same
And,
combat.
or yeah.
Could be within minutes that you have to kill them.
Well, it just takes a little more planning, and with enough people, you could have it to where the second we kill one, we immediately release the seal for the next one.
But can they be summoned from or awakened from anywhere, or don't they have to be awakened from where they were
Sealed? Oh,
sealed?
wait, did I forget that? Tracking my memory, Tristan. Does it have to be? Was this that location? I forget.
So, I will start by reminding the whole party that there is a person who gave you quite a lot of information about this. So if there is anything you really want to dive into and shore up, you could contact them. You have that power. That person being Tresnor, Tresnor, the leader of the Platinum Sentinels in Sudaran. He was the one who told you all of this secret information about how that works. And then
I don't think he would exercise a conversation with us unsealing, because he doesn't ever want to unseal.
well, that's up to you to discuss or not discuss with him. But what he did say that you all would remember, because it was like a little less than 2 weeks ago, actually, because of the... Well, I guess for you guys, it was like 4 days ago, 5 days ago, something like that. 2 days, 3 days. Yeah, 5 or 6 days ago, max. Was, that the sealing ritual takes time. He said about an hour to seal. And what that does is it prevents the dragon's spirit from recycling back into its body and rising again. The killing them to complete the ritual requires them to be killed in a similar area. I think he had said within about an hour. So that's not technically one single combat. It could be several combats over the course of an hour.
True. If we can raise them anyway, then we can do one. Fight one, kill it, and then do the next one, and so on.
Well, he said, so this is information we would know to say. So if the sealing takes place, or keeps their body from recycling, or their soul from recycling into their body, that just means we need the sealed soul and the body.
More or less, in order to what? To bring them back? To release them? Yeah. You know from your time with the Toralin Platinum Sentinels that the gem containing the dragon scale had to be brought to the remains of the dragon, and a ritual performed there in order to release the soul from the seal back into its body.
Alright, so wait, someone said sorry, go back into characters. Wait, someone said something about being tied to a location. Who said it? I don't remember.
Well, I did, but then the location would be the body, which could be moved theoretically.
Yes, and if we have enough people, like an army, we can easily move the bodies.
So if we go stop the 4 in Evangard, then we could keep them in Evangard. We can even build ambushes and traps and stuff for them for when we unseal them.
Yeah.
Make those fights easier. And then we would have to go and unseal Whittemer and then kill it, essentially, or... No, we'd have to find Whittemer's body and get the seal and take Whittemer's body to Evangard.
Yeah, Tiamat's the only thing that's going to be a problem, which we still have to figure out. Okay. Yeah, and I don't think Tresnor kept that ceiling where it's near that body either.
Yeah, we don't know where Widamir's body is, but Tatsuya might.
That's it. If you wanted to unseal him, he probably does know where it is. Okay, so, but yes.
I also imagine that there are stories that probably point to, like, at least to, you know, large area where these fights took place. Like, I imagine the exact location of, say, Shisharan's body wasn't well-known information, but, like, it
Well,
being over there, somewhere
like,
probably was.
If I
what
can-
country it was in, or they were fighting in before it died or got sealed.
If I can interject there for one moment. Laramendus, you know that the location of Shisharan's body was extremely well documented, and that knowledge was kept very safe by the Platinum Sentinels in Tuka. The only thing
Okay.
they didn't do was calculate for sand dune drift with the advent of the storms,
Right.
which didn't start for 500 years after Shisharan's initial death.
Yeah.
So it's really up in the air. There is not a way to be certain that one did or did not keep records of where these dragons fell.
Mhm.
You know that one group of Platinum Sentinels definitely did. It is very possible that other groups of Platinum Sentinels did the same for theirs. You know that each of them handled their particular scale and their particular dragon remains in their own way.
Tresnar has to know where Widamir's corpse is. We could probably use commune and other things to narrow it down, and use history and stuff to maybe initially.
I mean,
find a
given
certain
enough
area.
communes, we can get the area down to a
Yeah,
reasonable
and that's
location.
and
Even
that's
if
if Tatsuya
doesn't know.
already know where it is. So that sounds like a plan. Do we want to build the? We can probably discuss that later, but I guess would we want to do it in Evangard or somewhere else? Seems like Evangard would be the easiest since there would already be 4 corpses there.
Yeah, shudders at the thought.
What was that?
Leah just shudders at the thought of going to
Okay.
Evangard for that reason.
4 dragon corpses already there.
There's also the fact that when we fight them, we'll have a good gauge of our strength. And we could see that we're gonna need to seal them before we can defeat them all, because I think we're gonna have a hard time just sealing them, let alone kill them.
And we don't gotta. How bad do we have to hurt them to seal them? We learned that, didn't we?
They need to die. What the seal does is it prevents the soul from
so we
re-entering
actually
the
do need to
body.
kill them.
Yeah.
So we do need to full on kill them. I wonder if we can try to get them separated. It'd be easier if we could fight them not 4 at a time.
Yeah, but seeing that they got sealed before, I doubt that's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be
We
looking
might be
for
able
that.
to. We might be able to lure them out though. Dragons are very smart, but they have their own faults.
I would be
Arrogance.
surprised if they enjoy spending enough time with each other that they are going to be extremely close to each other for extended amounts of time.
So hopefully they are not so close that we can fight them one at a time, or at least not all at the same time.
Sure, they're also very proud that they would want to be the one to take us down without help or assistance, possibly.
I do also think that we should discuss our plan with Dusty and his sect of the Platinum Sentinels. Last week, especially because it requires, or it was at least benefited by their assistance, since they are in possession of Shisharan's scale and are on the way to find Elsimenth's scale, if they can.
That is what you remember.
And we will need both of those.
Should we be transparent with all the information we know? Not with the ceiling part, but with the location of the scales and well, we already planned to tell them all our plans.
I think that hiding information is likely to make things suspicious. They don't, for their current plan, they don't need any of the used scales. So their locations being known by them isn't
Well, that's what I mean. No.
detrimental.
Yeah.
And if they would send someone to go and take it away, we have the means to find them all. So, what information are you thinking should be held back?
It's about the sealing process itself. I don't know.
I mean, I believe that at least some of those in power within the army are aware of how to do it, since it's just essentially unsealing in reverse. And they've shown that they're aware of how to unseal.
Think about that. See, this is why I don't know much about magic. Freaking magic.
But I suppose they might not know exactly what they were going to do with it, but I think that any reasonably knowledgeable spellcaster could, with knowledge of one of them and knowledge that it can be done in two directions, could probably come up with it. Now, I don't know that the ritual would have been shared widely amongst the army. I imagine that it's probably limited fairly closely to Tatsuya's inner circle, with only enough people knowing how to do it in case anything should happen to any of them. Given the scale of what they are doing, I imagine all of those in command have an understanding that each of them are themselves expendable.
So, yeah, I don't see it. Okay. All right.
Is there anything else that we want to discuss here before we send to Thandros and finish up anything that we need to in the city?
Not
I'm
that I
good.
can think of.
All right. Currently, I constructed a sending to send off to Thandros, which is currently only at 20 words, which we will arrive in X hours, X depending on whatever we decide. Arrival point imprecise due to spell used. Anyway, we won't be immediately attacked.
That last part is a question.
Yes.
It's a good question.
Taken into custody is reasonable as long as he can help us get out of that. I just don't want to be in the middle of a fight with an army. If I could help it.
As soon as we teleport to, that would not be good.
No matter how it goes badly.
And honestly, it would go badly for everyone,
Exactly.
not just us.
Yeah. Like, you're powerful, but, like, that's a lot of people to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd definitely die, but we would do a lot of damage, and it would be pointless.
So I
Be a
can
terrible way to
add
use
in-
climax song.
Sam, I am
Yeah.
Like,
supposed
that's the
to
only-
remind you.
right about the Yukikaze thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to discuss the sending for Thandros, and then I was gonna
Okay.
switch over to that. Thank you for reminding me, though.
Yes.
So right now the sending is we will arrive in X hours, depending on whatever we decide. Arrival point imprecise due to spell used. Anyway, we won't be immediately attacked. Custody is understandable. Just not combat. I guess I did not include the just not combat. I think that's implied by anyway we won't be immediately attacked. Custody is understandable. I'm at 23 words. This would be a 4th level sending, which I think brings it up to 30. So we would have another 7 words if we wish to use them.
Thank you in advance.
3 left.
I mean, I can include that, sure. Is there anything else that we should include?
I ain't leaving.
Read the message back again.
We will arrive in X hours. Arrival point imprecise due to spell used. Anyway, we won't be immediately attacked. Custody is understandable. Thank you.
I think it's 6 words.
I have another 5.
Oh, 5. I was to say we want to
I'm
talk
at 5
about
right now.
we want to talk about helping. So I was thinking.
I think that Thandros knows why we're showing up.
True. Yeah, okay. No, I got nothing.
All right. When do we want to go?
ASAP.
I want to say
Keep
goodbye
in
to my
mind
family
that
after that.
Vendar needs to say goodbye. We need to go to the temple, or at least some of us need to go to the temple of the Raven Queen to share what we know and impress upon them that any actions beyond information gathering that they take should we would appreciate if they could include us in that so that we're not sending a bunch of unprepared people to their death.
Well, that's why I said ASAP. Whenever we're done with that stuff.
Yeah, ASAP doesn't mean right now.
I feel like there's an implication.
What does ASAP mean?
As soon as possible.
Ah,
Because we get everything done out of the way so we can leave quickly. Okay, Vendar is going to go say goodbye to his family. Some of us are going to go to the Temple of the Raven Queen. Anything else we're going to do?
I would like to inform the Archmage that we are leaving since he had questions about Cyrus, and he should know that we'll need to send to him when he shows up again, as opposed to being able to come with him.
Okay, we should be able to split up and get all this done pretty quickly.
Do you want to meet back here, or should I meet you somewhere in the city?
Is it back here?
Yes, let's meet back here.
Okay. I think I will go say goodbye to my sister first.
Voice in the sky. What time is it now, approximately?
I would say that at this point, you're getting on toward noon, 1 o'clock time area. Around lunch.
Okay.
Just because the time that you spent talking in the morning, then going up to the tower, having that conversation, coming back down, and having this conversation is several hours.
Yeah. That had been my understanding of when it was. I just wanted to make sure I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to say 4 hours to give ourselves plenty of time? I don't think there will be any. I guess to give ourselves plenty of time, and also to give Thandros plenty of time to at least make sure that we are only taken into custody and not immediately attacked.
Fair enough.
Anyone want more? Anyone want to advocate for less?
I would say for sure no more, but 4 hours is probably good.
Well, yeah, give them a bit of time so that they can discuss it before we get there. Because saying, hey, we're going to be there in 5 minutes, we're definitely probably going to get met with confrontation.
All right. 4 hours it is. I am sending.
Okay.
Spend a 4th level spell slot, because there is no god.
This.
Now, Yukikaze, we wanted to send to... Hold on, let me pull up the actual name. Can't remember his name.
Toshi.
Toshi?
Toshi.
Toshi.
Yeah.
We want to send to Toshi to have him begin the work of acquiring pieces of his comrades that want to be resurrected. Yes? Or at least, maybe not acquiring the pieces. We need to know where the bodies are and that they will stay there. We can exhume them later.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, it's a touchy subject. Pulling out the remains of your clansmen and stuff, it's, something you don't want to think about half doing, but we have to for the possibility of bringing
We
them
don't
back.
need them exhumed. We don't need to go and tear fingers off of corpses. We just need to know where they are so that we can get at them later.
Yes. Now, wait, is this something I'm speaking through you to tell them, or?
I have met Toshi, and so I'm capable of just telling them
Sending.
to him. If you would like me to convey a message from you specifically, I can do that instead. If you just tell me what you would like to say. You would have 27 words.
Nothing really too specific. Since he knows it's going to be coming from you, you can just say, like, Yukikaze wanted to give you a heads up that there are a few means to hopefully, or to bring, not hopefully, there are a few means to bring back our clansmen. But we need to know where they rest. Should I want to say that? I really don't want to say remains. I want to say, yeah, where their bodies rest. Because we will possibly need them to bring them back. Maybe just say, I hope you're well at the end, if there's enough room for it.
Okay. So, in order to bring back any clansmen that desire it, we need to know where the bodies rest. At least a piece is needed for the magic. Hope you well.
Hope you're well. You well.
Does your count as a single word?
Yes.
I suppose it does. I've used
Contractions are beloved by wizards.
So yeah, I hope you're well.
Important
Is that
to be
sufficient?
Yeah, that's sufficient.
Okay.
I have sent you the sending from Thandros.
This is surprising and probably dangerous. This is accurate. But I will have this place as ready to receive you as I can. Expect to be held and interrogated by Tatsuya. I will. He is unsure. I suppose it's a good thing that we had the larger sending, because he is unsure of exactly how the magic works. But that seems entirely... Being held and interrogated by Tatsuya seems entirely reasonable. I just don't want to be killed by him. I suppose if we want him to finish his thought, it might be worth another spell slot. That was in character.
I know.
So I send to Toshi with my second 4th level spell slot.
I think you forgot the first 3 words, though.
Oh, did I? In order? Oh,
You're going to be like Yukikaze via Lair or something like that.
I think we said, I think we said behested.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, because I suppose this is more his words, so yeah. Let me take out a few words so I can do that.
I thought that was why you had told him 27. So that
Yeah.
you could keep 3 back for the intro.
That is my second 4th level spell slot. Gone to Toshi's sending. I think that I am going to use my third 4th level spell, my last 4th level spell slot, to send back to Thandros.
Hopefully, we don't need counterspell too much.
I'm just going to send to him. Your last thought cut off at I will due to word limit. You have 30 words to continue. Yukikaze Toshi says, "Desert stilled, bodies lie silent. It shall be done for our brethren. The clan's thanks to Yukikaze and your group. You have great power to send in this way, Laramendis." Using all of it on communication, which is extremely valuable. So, the
Dragonborn clearly understands that there is a word limit and was very economic with his word use,
Yeah.
but then realized he had many more.
he was able to surpass the limit and was like, "Oh shit."
So he's like, well, I don't have anything else to say, so I guess I'll remark on this.
It's entirely reasonable. Because it also very likely tells him that, I guess, given the stuff, because it doesn't necessarily say that I've probably expended lower resources, because we did fill up the entire thing, but...
Oh no.
You
What?
use sending. Do they hear the message in their head?
Yeah.
So would he be able to tell that you used the wrong your?
Oh. I mean, Clarimentus probably didn't. But can people hear punctuation in their head?
I'm waiting for Thandros to come back, and he picks up at the first "I will," so that it cuts off again what he wants to say.
It's just like, oh, I hadn't known about the limit. That's very interesting. So as I was saying,
I will have this most ready to receive you as I can.
I feel like I'm going to assume that Thandros isn't an idiot. And knows when I say you have a word limit of this much, it's probably not the one that happened, like 8 words in. But I mean, he could prove me wrong.
But this is Tristan and Rule of Funny.
Anyway, I think that covers it.
Excellent. Vandros replied, just for the benefit of the stream, I guess the recording more than the stream. Not trained deeply in magic. I will inform Tatsuya of your arrival and desire not to fight. That is all. Were there any other sendings that we needed to conduct?
He's just like, I don't have more words.
No, that's fine.
Over.
I just wanted to make sure that. So basically, I wanted to send back to him to get the rest of his thought. I didn't think that he needed to fill up more space. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know, what he took my message to mean, but that is how Laramentis intended it. He didn't know exactly what was going on. I wanted him to finish the thought in case it was important for me.
Yup.
I think that's all the sendings. So, I suppose now I'm going to go get changed because I don't see any particular reason to go to the Temple of the Raven Queen dressed like this. And also to speak with the Archmage. And then go to do those two things. Is there anything else that those of us here should discuss more in depth? I suppose I can put a telepathic bond on us since we're going to be separating a little bit. If we wait the 10 minutes for that, it's probably not a terrible idea. If no one objects to that, Laramentis is going to start casting telepathic bond.
Okay. Sounds like there are no objections. You may begin casting.
Okay.
You
Wait, if we sing in our head, is it in perfect pitch?
You mean like if you sing telepathically?
Yeah.
I mean,
I suppose singing is a little odd in telepathy just because it's not...
it would be kind of perfect in telepathy, right? Because telepathy is just conveying thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And
If
it's...
it just convey a song like an airworm that's just sticking in your head, then I assume that would just show up
Play
as
a
you
song,
hear it.
not even your voice.
Because there's no language to telepathy. That's why you're just understood.
Oh, I guess that is kind of subjective. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so Laramentis casts telepathic bond. And then goes and gets changed. I need to go and give my cat her medication, though. So we should do what somebody else is doing.
Yep, I believe that, Vendar wants to go say bye-bye to his sister. Does anybody else have, things they wish to do and need a scene for? Needing a scene, not a bad thing. Please ask for scenes.
Let's see. We're going to. Some of us are going to Temple of Raven Queen, and I want to go to the Temple of Ione at some point.
Okay.
May or may not be on the way.
I believe that they're, if my memory serves, they're around the same tier of the city. So, the answer to that is more or less yes. On the way. The, Temple of Ione and the Temple of the Raven Queen are both in, like, the central tier of the city, so that they're equidistant from the top and bottom. Alright, then I'll start with Vendar, if people are okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
And are you gonna just keep your nice clothing on and keep the weapons off so that it's straightforward and easy to talk to your sister?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Then you head back to the Dawnspire. Alright, so, you head over to the Dawnspire. The guards, they just kind of like share a look like you again. You tell them that you wish to go see Lilith Drakner, and, they do the quick check. You're not armed, you're not holding a bag of holding, anything like that, so you're taken up. Your sister is, at this time, she is, I imagine that being brought up as a noblewoman, especially, a very aristocratic noblewoman, she probably was given things to do, to be more, I don't know, have an appealing skill set, so she probably plays a musical instrument. What do you think that would be, Vendar?
Maybe something like a harp.
I love that you said that, because that's exactly what was in my brain. Alright then. No electric triangles. So,
Knowing how to play a harp is such a rare thing that I believe there's only 2 professional harp players in Norway.
damn. Well, your sister's good.
It's a little fun fact.
Norway fact. Your sister's quite good, and she is in the midst of practicing the harp when you are brought to her set of rooms within the Dawnspire. So as you approach the door, there is a melody wafting out through the wood toward you, as, they knock. The melody stops a moment, and she bids you enter, and then continues playing, and as you walk in, you can see that she has the harp set up, a very well-cushioned bench to sit upon next to the writing desk by the window where she had been receiving you the previous day. And she continues to play as she watches you enter and cross the room toward her. You do see a small smile playing across her lips as she seems to drift from watching you intently to feeling the music with her eyes closed as she continues to pluck at the strings, and the notes ring through the room. And as you come within speaking distance, without ceasing to play, but slowing her tempo, so that her words can be heard between plucks, she says, "Brother, you underwent the ceremony this morning with Empress Belgrin."
I did.
"And you are pleased with your new signet?"
I am. I'm happy to be a part of the family again.
"And you are not put out that this is still an arm's length acceptance?"
It's understandable.
She smiles more fully and genuinely. "You have done much in the city the last few days, Vendar."
Yeah, I've been quite busy.
It's been pleasant to have your company again.
It's been good to be here.
I notice you didn't bring an entourage this time.
Yes, it's just me. I've come to say goodbye. It's time to go. We've told Thandros that we're going to be there soon, so we're going to leave in a few hours. And I wanted to say goodbye.
Going to Andros.
Yes.
I am certainly sorry to see you go, but I am happy to know that you will soon be with our older brother.
Yes,
Please, give him my warmest regards.
Of course.
I interrupted you.
Yes, I'm excited to see him again. It's been a long time.
Let him know that we wish he would come home.
I will.
she's going to stop plucking on the harp at that point and allow it to teeter back forward, fully standing, to free herself from behind it. And she's going to set a moment before rising to come as close to your eye level as possible, though I do believe you're still taller than her. And she looks at you with both sadness and seriousness in her eyes. As well, I did know that you would be leaving again, and honestly, I'm surprised it was not sooner, so I shall count that blessing, Vendar.
We'll endeavor to come back sooner, and as more often. We'll see what happens. I would ask that if any information, if anything happens, if you need anything, let me send to us. Especially if the muskets, if you once we got those in production, I would appreciate if you would let me know so I could come and get one.
Oh, yes. We did actually send for the relative of your friend Jebel.
I hope you can be useful.
Yes. Our own tinker felt that it would be good to have assistance from one of his own kinsmen.
Well, that's wonderful. I hope they can get it working soon. That would be a very good boon against the dragons.
Yes. So, I do expect results on that shortly. As a matter of fact, I don't think that they'll need more than perhaps a week to have it all figured out. They seemed very excited. They being our tinker, we believe, based on the messages that we've been getting, that the man from Crystal Rock should be arriving tomorrow or the day after.
Wonderful news. Hopefully I get in production soon. Come back quickly and see you again.
Yes. I shall earmark one for you, Vendar.
Thank you.
Then, I do wish you and your friends the best of luck. I hope that I do see you again. I worry every day that you're going to find these dragons, and they're going to kill you.
I won't make it easy for them. No.
She, does not smile at that. But she nods slowly. As then, if there is no way I can convince you to do otherwise, go with the blessings of the royal family of Aspara.
I will go to hug her.
She will, wrap her arms around you and squeeze very tightly. And in spite of her regal attire, in spite of the amount of time that must have been spent arranging her hair and painting her face, she does bury her face against your shoulder, and you can feel that there is just a bit of tremble in her body, and it reminds you of the times that she would be scared or sad about monster or the loss of a pet or someone going away on a trip even when you were children, and she always came to share these feelings with you above your older brothers, as she felt closer to you than to them.
I'll hold her tight. I love you, dear sisters. I'll see you again. Soon.
Takes a moment before she loosens her grip enough to draw her face out of your shirt, which is now, it's got some powders and paints a bit left on the shoulder there. Love you too, Vendar. You are my favorite brother. I wish there was some way to convince you to give up this quest and leave it for someone else. Your place is not to die for this. Your memory is not as comforting as your presence.
I have to make sure that you're safe. That everybody's safe. All the people in the world, me and my party might be the best equipped to handle this. And we won't be doing it alone. The whole point of this is to get the whole world to unite. So, you don't have to worry.
She,
It might be scary, but you'll make it through.
She sighs, and she releases you, stepping back and kind of folding her hands in front of her, kind of straightening herself again. Back up, reassuming that regal facade. And she, of course, and I hope you succeed, too. Just feel like I've lost so much in the last few months alone. Just know that it was very nice having you back in my life, even though I know that my choices, how to handle you, put a strain between us. I made those calls, I did those things because I don't want to lose you. Succeed and come back to us, Vendar.
I will. Before too long, I'll be back home. And there won't be any more dangers for me to run out and fight.
She dabs at her eyes, trying to not further smudge the paint on her face. And you notice as she kind of, one of her eyes is kind of flicking a bit, and she plucks at it. And she inspects something between her fingers. And she kind of, holds it up a little inquisitively. She sniffles a bit and clears her throat and says, Have you been traveling with a cat?
No. I do have my ferret, though. Squeakers.
Squeakers, pops out and looks over and says, That's not mine. Wrong color. Oh, you know who it reminds me of?
Is it Kuberil hair?
It is not.
Is it the dog hair?
It is not.
What cat do you know?
He'll get there.
What cat do I know?
Yeah,
Oh,
what?
it's Lynn hair. Oh. Oh.
I can
Yeah,
hear
that's-
Lynn's disappointment in the background.
The idea that we can't go to family
Oh my
gatherings
God.
because my sister is allergic to the
Oh, yeah, that is, I have a friend, a close friend, that I met in Bromdor. Her name is Lynn, and she's a tabaxi.
You met her in Tuca, just for clarification.
Right, I met her in Tuca. She's now in Bromdor. I met her in Tuca, and she fled to Bromdor with us when Siltaris.
Shisharan.
Shisharan, that's it. Shisharan attacked Tuca.
There is a theme for several of the dragon names that I came up with before the start of this campaign. So I apologize. They do end up sounding a bit similar for a reason. She kind of rolls the length of a little bit of fur between her fingers for a second, then kind of like lets it drop. You can kind of see it glinting in the streams of sunlight coming in through the window as it drifts toward the floor. You really have made quite an eclectic group of acquaintances in your travels, haven't you, brother?
We've met a lot of strange people. It's been a really interesting journey.
I hope your journey has a happy ending. As anything else would be too much, I think. For me.
I'll make sure it does.
Nods. And, sits back down upon the bench, and reaches out to pull the harp toward herself. Hugging the frame a bit as she looks up at you. Yes. Then you should not keep Thandros waiting.
I'll give her a bow. I will see you soon. Bye, dear sister.
Not if I see you first, Vendar. And she begins plucking on the strings again as you turn and head toward the door, but this time you recognize the song that she plays, as it is one that she practiced regularly as a youth in your parents' home in Elazan. Many memories of those days in the old estate flood back to you unbidden, good and bad. You return to Boar Hunter Lodge. And perhaps by now we have a Sam back?
Yep, I'm back.
So, there was a desire to go to the Temple of the Raven Queen, and a desire by Jebel to go to the Temple of Ione.
I would also like to go to the Temple of Ione.
Okay. They are in the same district of the city, none too far from one another. So you may visit one and then the other if you desire. Or you may split up between them if that is what the party wants, but it seems to me that you wish to be a group. I'm not overstepping that.
I am happy to go to both places.
If there is anybody who does not wish to go to those places.
I should have time to still get around once we get back. So, yeah, I'll go with.
You could easily have spent the time that Vendar was seeing his sister, changing into whatever attire you wish.
Well, it's getting all suited up, getting all my goods, checking my inventory, making
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I mean, he was gone for like half an hour.
Okay. But yeah, you guys is all armored up and ready to go.
Then, yeah. Is everybody taking all of their belongings with them this time so that you can leave from anywhere?
Yeah.
It seems a sound plan. Alright then.
Yeah.
Then you head off for the middle tiers of Everwatch. And I suppose we'll go to the Temple of Ione first, since that was that was the side job, and we'll hear that out first and then get to the main job, if that's agreeable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, you approach the Temple of Ione. You have all, at this point, visited this temple at least once, as I've told you before. It's a squat, middle-sized building, small for a temple. It's 2 stories tall, and when you go in, you can see that the levels are open in the middle, and that the whole place is books and a few acolytes. You can spot the cleric. You see him actually reshelving a book near the balustrade on the upper level that you can see him from the doorway. You remember that this is the dwarf, Taram Lanier. He seems to hear the door and looks over his shoulder, and then he does a little bit of a double take as your whole colorful parade comes in. And he kind of he places his hands on the balustrade and pokes his nose over it, and says in sort of like a whispered shout, if you will, you're back. I'll come down in a moment. And you hear him thumping away down the stairs, and after a moment he comes up to you, shooing away acolytes who had been headed over to you, redirecting them toward the few other patrons who are in here, consuming Ione's knowledge. Says, I wondered if I would see you lot again. What can I do for you?
Laramentis looks to Jebel, since Jebel had been the one to first mention coming here. But if there's a pause, he's going to say something.
Is this the guy I was talking to?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
He's one of the only clerics, like actual clerics here. Each of the temples has like at least one cleric, but some of them only have one. Ione, Taram Lanier. He's
Is he a dwarf?
yes.
Because I think I was talking to a dwarf.
Yes. I'm 96% certain that this is the person you spoke with. I don't think that I've introduced any other clerics of Ione at this point. Keep things simple as I can.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's only the only one, maybe.
Right, and you had told him that you were looking for something that he should send to you if he found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're here about?
Yeah, I'm just following up because we're going leaving. I figured I'd just pop in and just check.
Remind me what it was you wanted. Remind the DM.
I know there was
Bottled
I
Night,
wanted information
I think.
on the Bottled Night.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there was something else.
That's the only one I remember, because I
Yeah,
remember
that's all
thinking
I
about how
remember.
you wanted to hurt me.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's right. You wanted the information on the Bottled Night. Well,
Laramentis pales. Because I don't think he had known about this.
well, I took a look around our stores here, and I did not find anything on the subject. So I sent to a couple of the other temples in other nations, and in other parts of Aspara. I did get a hit. They're going to be sending me what they have, to borrow. Tomorrow, but it did not sound like there was a lot to know. It seems that whatever this is, it's some fey brew, some spirit of some kind. Mortals can sometimes acquire it in the Feywild, and it's supposed to be particularly potent. But aside from a couple accounts, it didn't sound like they had much. There certainly wasn't anything like a recipe or even a name for who you could ask specifically to get this. But I felt that the accounts would probably contain some more information that I could use to help point you in the right direction, so I was having them transfer them tomorrow.
That's perfect. Because the rest of that, I think, is kind of what I was already aware of. Just the details of it are lacking. So that would be a help.
Well, I will receive these accounts, give them a look over, and start putting together what information I can. If anything jumps out right away or anything like that, you'll be hearing from me.
I'm specifically looking for the effects of it, what it does.
I imagine that these accounts will contain a description of what the users felt.
Excellent.
Looking to get some for yourself?
No, we have some. It is from the Feywild, and I don't want to drink it because it's from the Feywild.
You want to leave it with me?
No. I don't think I have it right
Can
now.
I convince you to leave it with me?
Probably not.
The Temple of Ione is always prepared to pay handsomely for information.
I know, but what we're going, what we're doing, it might come in handy. We never know.
But if you die out there, then that knowledge is further lost. You actually have a sample. That's far better than accounts.
How much do we have?
One sample. You have one bottle that contains an amount.
Vendar has one vial of. Vendar is also not there, so
You're
neither is the vial.
not there?
No,
Is this happening after I got back?
I think
imagined.
I think we changed things so that we were waiting for you, so that we could all go do these last two things and then leave.
Oh, well, I also want to say goodbye to my brother and mother.
Then we can run back to the
Okay,
lodge and then
so
leave from there.
then. Alright. I had thought this was while I was doing that. Okay.
I mean, it also can be if you have, you don't feel a strong need to be involved in these scenes.
I'm fine with being here, because I can ask questions and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, I think it's great, but it's entirely up to you. I'm not gonna force you.
I hadn't been talking because I thought I wasn't here.
Oh, okay, then yeah, feel free.
So yeah, we got some bottled night, but we got no idea what it does. I might look in to see if I can try to discern the ingredients, but I'm afraid in doing so I would use the only sample that we have.
If you would sell it to me, then I can add it to our records. I can perform tests upon it and try to understand it. I might even be able to have in an alchemist who could try to break it down for me. Temple of Ione is not without resources for understanding a great many things in this world.
I would very much like to know how to make this substance.
As would I. I think that I can arrange that. We've got many connections around the world, the other temples, and we're not above paying the Mages Guild for such.
Get Larmendis to wish for a duplicate.
No. Even if I didn't run the risk of never being able to cast Wish again.
No, I just liked how fast that was.
Exactly.
this one. He's a scholar of Ione, but doesn't want to know.
Not that.
I can buy it off of you. I have gold. I have platinum if you need that much. What will it take to loosen that bottle from your fingers?
Let's find out what it does first.
Yeah,
Well, that's
we'll
what
be
I
back
want
in
to do.
town at some point.
Like, these reports that I'm receiving might have been collected during an experimentation period, or they might just be what's written by a scholar of Ione who happened upon a person who had recently ingested it, and it's just ramblings. I won't know until I have them in my hand and can interrogate them for myself. But a sample? Ione would she would excommunicate me if she were to know that I had a piece of first-hand information in my presence that had not yet been recorded, and I let it go without a fight. So please consider my offer of gold. And think about where we are, that gives your imagination a number to hold on to, and imagine that is what I can give you. And then tell me what that number is.
I don't know if there is a number. I don't know what it does. I don't know how valuable it is.
I will find out once you sell it to me. Make up a number.
Also, if I sell it to you, then I don't have it anymore, and I can't use it or try to learn anything from it myself.
But then the Temple of Ione does have it, and then, ere long, we will be able to reproduce it, and then you can learn how to reproduce it from us. If you use it, then it's gone. If you give it to us, there can be more. What's Laramanda's expression during this whole exchange?
Laramendas has consistently been very pale after it was mentioned that it was talking about the bottled night.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime that he has, talked about buying it, there's that spark of hope. Because it would mean it would get away from him.
So he is
and he just dashed every single time. So just that little no.
So every time, by this time he is looking around the group, trying to convince all of you to get your friend to sell it to him. Look at all the merits that can be had of from giving it to me. And so now he is going to notice Lair, and he's watching this reaction. He just holds out a hand, pointing over your shoulder toward Lairman, and says, "Your friend wants you to sell it to me. I can see it in his eyes."
I think it will be safer away from us.
That's because he's the one he's had it before, and then he sold the information to the Fae along with the information on how to make it.
So sell it to me, and I'll break it down, and then we'll have that information.
But I'm an experienced alchemist myself. What could you do that I couldn't?
I can put it in the records of Ione. What are you gonna do with it?
I can make it, and then I could give it to you.
Maybe. I have resources and access to well-known persons of great talent. I mean, you're well-known. The great talent is by your own mission here. But, you're not associated with Ione. If you leave it here with me, I can get the information, and then you can just come here and get the information. You know where to get it. I don't know where to find you.
Vendar, what you could do is you could request that as soon as the information is retrieved, they do a sending to you. Just a thought.
Points at Yukikaze, says, "We can do that. Was already going to send to your friend Jebel."
As soon as you learn, you send to me, and you tell me how to make it, ingredients.
Yes, all of that.
Even if you find out it's a horrible thing.
Well, in Ione's eyes, there's no such thing as bad knowledge.
this point, what Laramendus was advocating for really dawns on him. The fact that now it will be able to be reproduced. He was scared enough of this thing being near him that he wasn't really. It was mostly just like get it the fuck away.
Yeah.
Not really considering the fact that it was like get it the fuck away to where more people will be able to have this substance. And just sheer dread.
He's like, yes, wait. Fuck.
What have I wished upon myself?
What have I brought upon this world? And he says, in my own size, there's not really any such thing as bad knowledge. There's only knowledge.
Well, it did seem to make Laramendus unhappy, so that makes me inclined to say yes.
You should say yes. I will give you money. You like money, right?
I do like money. I have a fair amount of money, but...
Well, how much money do I need to give you? Give me a number.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Can I, like, roll a history or something to know what might be...
Is it no
Yeah.
artifice cinema?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can roll history, yeah. Ryan.
What some unknown substance like this might be worth to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how Vendar is just like, I was thinking of not doing it, but I can see how much it screws over Laramendus, and now I really want to do it.
So I can see how unhappy it made Laramendus, and that really makes me want to do it now.
Such
I
good
like causing
friends.
my friends. I
So
like causing my friends pain.
is it just a straight roll, or is it something else?
You may roll
What did you
history.
do while I was gone?
Okay, roll history, so that's 22.
What was the question, Jebel?
What did you do while I was gone?
While you were gone, the cleric has continued to try to get the bottled night elixir from Vendar, and up until like a minute ago, Laramendus was like, yes, please, like, take it from us. I don't want it near us. And then a minute ago, he realized, oh wait, shit, he's going to find a way to make more of it, and seemed to suddenly not like his position anymore.
As soon as Vendar was like, but once you know what it's made of, like what it's made of and how to make it, you need to send to us. And then that's when Laramendus is like, oh, fuck.
Oh yeah. Everything's coming up Laramendus. Alright, so with a 22, given that this is an unknown substance, given that it's never been fully mapped out, it doesn't seem to exist. This guy has clearly talked to other temples of Ione, and they don't have a record of it either. It's very valuable to him specifically. Its extrinsic value here is very high. So it would not be unreasonable to ask for an obscene amount of money for this thing. Like, you could easily ask on the order of dozens of platinum for it.
Okay. Well, you seem to be real, you've been persuasive. You really want it, and you seem to... So... Alright, I'll let it go for 50 plat.
He kind of like, there's this little oof. Let me just, he, like, reaches into the apron he's wearing. You can see that it bulges in places with books that are still waiting to be reshelved, and he takes out, like, this little, wire-bound ledger, and he, like, settles a pair of spectacles on his nose that were on a string around his neck, and he turns the pages back on it. Alright, I can do 45.
Okay, okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay. You do have the option to continue haggling, and you can use your persuasion or I keep wanting to say subterfuge. What is it? Lying.
Deception?
Deception. Yeah. You could use
Persuasion and deception.
Yeah. If you wanted to try and really push him for the full 50, or you can accept. It is entirely up to you.
45 plat and the guarantee sending immediately.
Yeah, of course. You have obviously made yourself of great use in the eyes of Ione, and I would be happy to make sure that you have the information that you have given us, as this will better ensure that it gets spread where it needs to be.
Okay, I'll just take the 45.
He holds up a hand and says, let me, allow me to go get it. And he disappears for a couple minutes, somewhere into the library, and then comes back with a stack of coins, and then counts them off. 4 piles of 10, and then a pile of 5 into your hand. And then holds out his, large hand for the bottle.
And I will place the bottled night in his hand.
You all see as he receives this clear glass bottle with a cork stopper that looks much like a bottle of ale or beer, some form of alcohol. But within it, there is this deep black liquid that as it sloshes within the confines of the glass, you see that it has these unfathomable depths to it, within which there is a plethora of multicolored stars, and it's almost as though the longer you look into it as he holds it up in his hand, even for these few seconds that this transfer takes, you find that your mind goes deeper and deeper into that darkness, surrounded by more and more stars.
Laramentis has his eyes closed as soon as he goes to, grab it. He does not need to see this.
Being like you're being drawn and sucked into the void of space.
It does feel like you are captivated by this, and you almost feel like you're falling into this darkness, and it is only as he draws it back to himself and cups his other hand around it protectively that your view of the black liquid is cut off, and you find yourself, losing your balance slightly, tipping forward, as though waking from a falling dream while standing. And he kind of looks down at it and then back at you and sees this loss of balance reaction from her. It's just really potent stuff. I am excited to find out what it's made of.
I'm excited to learn too.
He slips it into his apron without uncovering it, as he noted his own, you can kind of see, his own pallor, dims a bit as he looks at it and breaks his eyes away. Yes, very good. You have the thanks and respect of the Temple of Ione in giving us this knowledge, and as is the mission of our goddess, we will share it with the world.
I'm very happy about that, I say as I look at Laramentis.
Who still has his eyes closed because he's unaware of he's not taking any chances. Laramentis will say, there is one other thing that I wanted to, still with his eyes closed, discuss. I had mentioned describing our interactions with and understanding of the undead that had been outside the city, so that it was fully recorded.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure that was done.
Excellent. I imagine that will take some time. So I can borrow just you for a while if you would like. Return you to your friends a little later on.
I think that is reasonable.
As long as your friends are alright with letting you go.
I think that you
Fine with
all
me.
have all the information that is needed for discussions with the Temple of the Raven Queen.
Yeah, we should be good.
All right, then. If you would follow me, Scholar.
Laraminus follows. I assume it's the exact same path that we went down last time we did this,
Yeah.
because he's given some information to this temple. So
Yeah. Same thing, and just as before, nowhere near as efficient as Tuka's, but still impressive and very useful. I'd say that to give him the full accounting, and for him to take all the notes would take maybe an hour.
cool.
Are you all going to just mill about the temple while you wait this hour out, or are you going to head to the Temple of the Raven Queen to give your information to them?
We might as well just go give the information while Laraminus is doing that.
Yeah, I think the same.
On what?
Alright. Then, as Laraminus disappears into the Temple of Ione, you lot head out to the Temple of the Raven Queen. As you approach there, you do see that, again, the acolytes are working at the slabs at the head of the room. This time there appear to be 2 bodies, and there are 3 or 4 people on the benches offering their prayers to the Raven Queen, perhaps for the bodies up there. And as the door bangs closed behind you in this dim, quiet place, you are going to hear the loud thumping of footsteps heading toward you, and you will see a half-giant peer down at you through the gloom of the room as she approaches. She says, "Greetings and welcome to the Temple of the Raven Queen. What can I do for you today, gentlemen and lady? Have you a body that needs to be taken care of, or a spirit that needs to be sent on?"
We have some information about a dangerous lich, and we're hoping to talk to you about that and investigating it.
She sighs audibly and nods her head in understanding. She says, "You're the ones my husband mentioned yesterday."
Yes.
Very well. She's going to look around and see that the people in the room are kind of like looking over a bit curiously, distracted now from their prayer. She's going to say, "Please, accompany me to the back. We can discuss things more privately."
Okay. We will.
She leads you out through a door into a smaller room that possesses a wooden desk. The desk is made of a wood that is this ghastly white, almost this unnatural bleached look, ghost-like in the dim room, in the way that it seems to almost glow with its whiteness. And she thumps down into the large seat behind this large desk, clearly sized for her. And she indicates to the last person in that they should close the door behind them. And once you are all stood before her desk, she's going to lean onto her elbows and say, "You can call me Gentle Thunderfoot. You met my husband, Hunk, yesterday. Now then, Hunk said that you found out that the zombies that attacked the city yesterday were sent by a necromancer turned lich that you have faced in the past. Is that so?"
Yes, his name is Alvernus Westigo. And when we fought him, he was human, but we had thought he had been killed, and it turns out he had become a lich instead.
That is most troubling information. Liches are perhaps the most powerful of the undead that our clergy are prepared to face. I will need to contact other temples, but with this information, and some more that I will try asking you for, I believe that we can at least come up with a plan of action. I will be sharing this information with other temples. This is my asking permission, but don't get me wrong. I will not wait for permission.
We would like if you had kept us informed on your investigation as well.
She nods silently, and she says, "If a sending spell can be spared, it will be."
We would also like to help in any eventual operation going after the Lich, if once you manage to find him.
She takes notes of all these things. You can, she will stop every now and then as you're speaking and write something on the desk. It's quite high, but craning your neck, you can see that she's taken down things like his name, that he was human, the word lich. Does very well. I'll need your name then, or at least one of you.
So my name is Vendar Draknir.
Draknir. The same of the noble family?
Yes, the very same.
And can you provide some proof of that?
I will show my new signet ring.
She will reach across the table with her very large hand and gently grasp your wrist and look upon the signet ring, allowing it to gleam in the candle light on the desk for a moment before she releases you. Says, "Very good. Welcome to the temple, Lord." Alright, now then, you said that he was human. Do you know his origin, a place of birth?
Do I? That's something Christopher told me.
You know that, yeah, actually, Christopher says that his family is Asparan. That is something that you learned when you were with him.
He's from Aspara, but I'm not sure where in Aspara.
Well, these things will be determined, but this helps narrow things down. Thank you for that. And let's see here. This one I don't know if you'll be able to help me with, but I will pray. Vecna or Orcus?
We think Orcus, he stole rare ancient text from a temple of the Raven Queen in Thanendir, was it?
Oh, he stole it in Aspara.
Oh, from
It was a
the
town called Rilen.
a town called Relen in Aspara. He stole an ancient manuscript that was specifically about trying to bring Orcus into the mortal plane.
You see that she narrows her eyes at you momentarily before writing this down. She says, "You're certain of that town name?"
Yes.
That is most troubling. She's going to, pull open a drawer on her side of the desk and lift out a stack of pages and let it slap onto the desk's surface from a height of about a foot. Says, we've been getting requests for more clerics in Raiken for years. The man... She, lifts one of the pages. Christopher Crimsonplane has had difficulty with the undead out there of late, it seems.
Yes, he actually helped us fighting the Lich. We know Christopher personally.
Oh.
We're also afraid that he might be in danger. We tried to send to him, but we think that the sendings were intercepted by the Lich.
She's going to, twist her head a bit to the side and further narrow her eyes and say, "Is such a thing possible?"
According to our wizard friend, who knows far more about it than we do, such a thing could be possible.
Yeah, Laramentis had told you that given enough time and resources, he could probably get something working for that.
Yeah, so we don't know any of the details about it, but our wizard friend does believe that it is possible for him to do something like that.
That is extremely troubling, Lord Draknir. And you say that he is potentially in danger. He is in danger from this Lich?
We would hope so.
You hope so?
It's possible he's been somehow enthralled or otherwise coerced. The Lich, Alvernus Westigo, is Christopher's grandfather. So he was very intent on helping us defeat the Necromancer when he was just a Necromancer, so I don't know.
I didn't realize they were related.
Does that change things?
She, seemed to have been, when this revelation came forward, you kind of saw her, tilt back in her chair, and her eyes drifted up toward, the corner of the ceiling as she said that. And then you see her eyes just sort of track over to you, followed by the rest of her head turning. She says, "Alvernus Westigo has been a menace to Aspara since before I was born. He's a well-known necromancer, and he is very good at hiding his tracks. Or, how should I better put it? Laying false trails. We have never been able to pin him down and deal with him with any sense of finality. And then things were quiet for a long time. And I thought, foolishly, he's done it. He's finally died. We're free of him. I haven't had any new communications from Christopher. I assumed that he finally got tired of sending requests for more clerics. We only have so many that we can spare. And Raiken is such a small town. It's got only 2 temples in its entirety. How could it need more than 1 cleric? But now I understand. And I regret my decisions. If Alvernus Westigo is a lich now, and related by blood to Christopher Crimsonplane, she sighs and shuts her eyes, taking in a couple deep breaths, and then opens them again. There's resolve in them. She says, "I'll make this right. I'll find him. Hunk and I will make sure that he is located and protected from the Lich as best we can. If he had told us, I don't know that it would have changed much. We still couldn't find the bastard. Alright. That's all the information I'm going to need. Anything else is going to be less useful than this. Your group has done work that should have been done by us. And for that, you have both my sincerest apologies and the thanks of the Raven Queen.
Anytime. And please, let us know if you find Christopher.
It will become my top priority. Right after making sure that we are sealed against a repeat of this curse zombie incident. I don't imagine that will take me more than a day or two. And then he'll be found. She's shaking her head, and the expression on her face conveys a deep disappointment in herself. You can feel the intensity with which she is scrutinizing her own actions within her mind right now. But finally, she seems to come out of it again. Says, "Is there more bad news? Else you're dismissed."
Alvernus Westigo did leave some fairly obvious hints and trail to try to suggest that he was in Sudaran. We're pretty sure that's just him trying to lead us away. But
She nods.
figured we should let you know.
I'm glad you let me know. It is very likely that that is a misdirect, and I will focus our search based on the findings of speaking with the Raven Queen. Something tells me that this is a situation that will be of great interest to her. Thank you, once again, for bringing this directly to my attention. I do believe that Hunk undersold it yesterday, and I will be going over this information with him later today.
Good luck in your investigation. We
Yeah.
hope to hear from you soon.
If there is anything to tell, you will receive a sending. You'll have my word.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
If, he says as you head toward the door, stopping you, if you hear from Christopher, and you believe that it will reach him, tell him that I will make it right, if it's the last thing the Raven Queen lets me do.
I will nod.
For such a towering figure, she does seem to slump in that chair behind that ghostly desk as you head back out to the temple proper and out the front doors. You head back to the Temple of Ione. There is only a short wait, and your wizard is returned to you. There, you're going to be 10 platinum richer. And you regroup with the party.
Everything went as well as could be expected at the Temple of the Raven Queen.
Yeah, they said they'll keep us informed. She seemed quite distraught over the information that we gave her. Especially the information that Alvernus Westigo is Christopher Crimson Plains' grandfather.
Armendus nods. Hopefully they are able to discover useful information sooner rather than later.
Hopefully. They'll send to us if they learn anything.
One more thing I wanted to do in the city was go and speak to the Archmage to let him know that we'll have to send to him about Cyrus. And then other than that, I suppose we can spend the rest of our time in the lodge.
Okay. Your time that remains, such as it is, after... Unless you have other things to discuss with the Archmage, he will...
No, it was just I wanted to run in and be like, I know that we told you that we were going to send. I wanted to let you know that we are leaving the city, and so we will have to send when Cyrus comes back.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah,
it.
I mean, he's got a line of people again, so, it takes you a few minutes before you can, convince one of them to let you poke your head in before they head in. As, the Archmage's time is precious and his spell slots are few. So it takes you a little bit to finally get these words off, but you do, and then you head back to Boarhunter Lodge. So I would say that you've got, maybe an hour 20 before you're expected to be teleporting. What do you want to do with that last hour? Spend a short rest and do arcane recovery, maybe?
And that's what I want to do. Is I have now spent 3 third level and 3 fourth level spell slots without doing basically anything today. I mean, they were important spells to spend. So,
who was it that said communication is so powerful and important? I can't remember.
I don't know, but he sounds like an asshole.
I think it was me.
Well, you're an asshole, Leah.
Oh.
So, does anybody have any ideas for how to prevent Lair from getting to do his arcane recovery? Quick.
I want to get all 3 of my third level spell slots back.
Lightning
To
round.
prevent him from.
How do you stop Lair from getting his spell slots back?
We'll make sure he sends.
Stab him.
Give him more things to send to, so he has to instead use more slots.
Alright. What are you gonna send?
I have...
Jebel, I sent you a message earlier. Just something to think about, but it's there.
Yeah, I just... do a purple worm tooth mace. Break his knees?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, that'd probably disrupt my short rest. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Let's wait
I
59
need
minutes
those
and then just boom. After the short rest, I'm going to cast Mage Armor, but I have it on so that I have my ward.
Yeah, that
In case
makes a
someone
lot of
tries
sense.
to break your knees.
Alright, so then, while he's short resting and, seems nobody's giving him more spells to cast, I mean, Jebel, you could in fact be over there breaking his knees. It'd be very interesting to see his shit. You gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
What does a mace even look like?
The purple worm mace be like
Any mace.
they're like a metal haft with a larger portion at the top, which comes in a variety of shapes depending on your preference, but it's designed to be a bludgeoning weapon, so it's like basically a baseball bat with a heavy end. and that end can usually
I think
has.
that end is a tooth of a purple worm.
It's a fancy club, is what it is.
I imagined that usually they're God, what do they call them? Veins? I think it's veins. Very often they're veined so that they have
Oh yes. Yeah.
these rectangular kind of slats coming out. It's wild because like so many maces have spikes. The original. This is just a little piece of bullshit history here, but like someone decided a long time ago that maces were specifically bludgeoning weapons, even though that like they have sharp edges and some have spikes, but they're just bludgeoning weapons, and clerics in like second edition or something weren't allowed to draw blood. Like that's why they couldn't use swords or daggers. Like it was against, no matter what order, no matter what god you followed, a cleric couldn't draw blood. So they had to use maces because they were bludgeoning weapons that air quotes didn't draw blood.
Yeah, like you don't draw blood when you bash someone over the head with a mace.
Right, it's entirely ridiculous, but that is the holdover from the very early editions of D&D for why clerics will pretty much only use maces ever. It dates all the way back to early D&D, and it's dumb. All right.
Love all the weird holdovers from early D&D, where it's like, why did you do that way? Why do we still do it?
Because it's illegal to carry ice cream in your back pocket. That's why. Okay, so you get your rest. Jumble contemplates murder and maiming, apparently. Vendar, you go to speak to your brother and mother.
Yes.
Your brother is actually rather hard to locate at first. And it's one of the servants who directs you to him. You find that you've spent time in Boar Hunter Lodge in the past, but it was never a home, right? It was sort of like the guest home. It was where they put up nobles who were visiting Aspara, or visiting Everwatch from outside of Everwatch. And so it was like your Airbnb. It was like a little vacation spot, kind of. The family would come here, be put up here for like a week, and then you'd go back to Elazon. So you never really knew the ins and outs of this place, and so you are a bit surprised just because you'd never put any thought or effort into exploring it in depth. I imagine, correct me, because I could be wrong if you feel he would.
That's kind of what he does.
Yes, it was sort of as I was saying it that I went, well, actually, maybe he'll fight me on this.
Yeah, I mean, he is kind of, especially as a kid, it seems like just exploring around and finding anything hidden would be something that he would explicitly do.
Yeah. I actually agree with that. I retract my statement. You don't expect where you find him. You know from your youthful explorations of this place that despite its plain appearances up here, and the lack of any noticeable kitchen for cooking, there's always food here. But you, in your youthful explorations, did find that kitchen, and it is actually below ground. The entrance to it is in the parlor, behind the bar. And it's pretty much exclusively used by the servants that run the house. And the servants direct you down there as you begin looking for your brother. You find him in the kitchen below with Dr. Neeland, and he appears to be cooking. Again, he made breakfast for you yesterday, but not this morning. Today he seems to be working on several dishes. The smell seems fine. There is quite a mess here, so you see that this is still a skill that he is developing. But, like, you look over the foods and they look edible. They don't, like, you don't look at them and your mouth doesn't start immediately watering for how good it looks, but he has not created poison by accident. And he looks up from one of the steaming pots that he's stirring for a moment, and he smiles, and he says, Vendar, you're here. I didn't expect to see you down in the kitchen.
I came looking for you.
Can I offer you some of this soup? It's not quite done, but I think that I would like you to taste test it for me.
I can give it a go. I'll go and I'll taste it.
He ladles out a bit into your mouth. It's quite hot, but you find that it has a colorful bouquet of flavors, but it is lacking in salt, and it has a bit of an unexpected fruitiness to it, in what is otherwise a very savory dish. Not bad, but not great, honestly.
Some interesting. You doing some experimenting?
Yes. Dr. Neeland has indicated that, I should try my hand in cooking, and learn to make, good dishes, that don't kill anyone before I begin dabbling in medicines and alchemy.
Probably a good idea.
Indeed. But I was inspired by you, little brother, and I wanted you to know that... Well, I'm sorry that we didn't have a deeper relationship before now, that I... the way Father raised us always kept us at a distance from each other. I always wanted to tell you more frequently how much I thought you were talented at what you did. But I was little often given that opportunity, and so hear it from me now. You are an impressive person, Vendar, and I am happy to call you family.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be your brother as well. We can have a much closer relationship now.
I would like that. Great deal, I think. You can taste test my foods for me and help me get better at cooking. It is difficult.
Yes. I would love that. Yeah, it could use some salt, by the way.
Salt. The rock. Of course. He leans in, like checks where Dr. Neeland is, kind of leans away from him towards you and says, Dr. Neeland warned me that people don't eat rocks. Told him that was silly.
Salt's a special rock. We
Indeed.
eat less of that rock.
The most delicious of them. And trust me, I have tried many. Well, that's beside the point. I have other dishes here you could try for me, if you've got the time.
I can try one or two, but I have come here to tell you goodbye. I'm
What?
off to. Me and my friends have to go. We're off to see Thandros.
But you've
about
only
an hour.
just... Why?
There's a lot going on in the world, but I promise I'll be back as soon as and as frequently as I can.
I thought you would... You're
And
not...
once we are done with what we're doing, I'll be back for good.
It's not fair. I thought you were staying. You were going to help me cook. Well, when will you be back?
I can't say for sure, but hopefully sometime in the next couple weeks I'll be back for at least a little bit. And then we'll see what happens from there.
His face is all scrunched up in anguish as he, kind of stares into the bowl of soup. Your words washing over him. You'd better hurry back. We'll have many dishes that you'll need to try.
I can't wait.
If you miss my first day of real alchemy, Vendar, I shall be upset at you.
Oh, don't worry. I can't wait to be your alchemy teacher.
He seems to brighten at that. Yes. That's what I want. I want that. Teach me what you know. All the things I missed as a father.
Well, when you're ready and when I'm back, then we'll teach you alchemy, get you started. We can do it together.
Okay. Promise.
Promise.
I'm told that when people make a pact, they shake on it. He jabs his hand forward toward you.
I'll take his hand and I'll shake it and then I'll pull him into a hug.
He resists that momentarily and kind of loses his balance, surprised by it, and just sort of slams awkwardly into you. But after a moment, kind of wraps his arms around you. Says, "This is nice.
Yes, it is.
Like this. Don't forget your pact. We shook. You're not allowed to break it."
I won't.
Good. Is this also part of making a pact? Is this a different pact?
This is part of being a family.
Oh, good. I like that. I'm glad to have family. You, Vendar.
I'm glad to have family in you.
You can feel that, like, his grip in the hug kind of, like, shores up, tightens a little, and then suddenly becomes loose. Says, "Oh no, the roast! Vendar, I must... over there!" And it sort of, like, struggles away from you.
I'll let him go.
He quickly runs over to an oven and pulls open pulls out the drawer inside, and steam rises off of it, but not black smoke. So good. Oh, that was close, wasn't it, Doctor? Dr. Neeland, like, checks the water clock on the wall and says, Yes, it was a little close. Vendar?" He extends his own hand towards you.
I'll shake it.
Safe travels, my friend.
Thank you. And thank you again for all you've done for him. And keep him company while I'm away.
He smiles and shakes his head and says, "For as long as I've been here, I don't think I've done half as much for him as you have, but I will carry on your work, make sure that he continues getting the medicine he needs, and developing the skills he desires. Make sure you keep that promise to him."
I have every intention to.
Good. Safe travels, my friend. Safe travels.
Thank you. And goodbye. I'll see you again soon.
He ducks his head, closing his eyes and smiling at you. And as you head back up, you hear suddenly, it says, No, don't put that there. Over here. Over here. Yes, that's correct. Now, salt, like you said, right over there. And as the voices fade away down the stairs, you just hear, I told you, rocks, Doctor. They're good. And finally, your mother. That'll be the last thing we do. Your mother's actually going to be, in the parlor. I can actually... I never did it downstairs, but this I can at least move us over. Aha! So as you come back up, she's, leaning against the bar, running her finger around the edge of a glass that is, half empty. And she looks over and smiles warmly and says, there you are.
Saying goodbye to Viserys. Karis. Been watching Game of Thrones.
It has been good to have you around again, Vendar. The last few months have been very difficult for the family. Especially since, for the most part, that family was just me and what of your sister I was able to see between her visits with the Belgrins.
It's been great being here.
I know you're headed out again, so come here, get it over with, hug your mother.
I'll go over and hug her.
And she's going to hold you tightly for a few moments. Say, bring everyone back together, Vendar. You've done so well with your sister and your brother Vicaris. Just leave Thandros.
Gonna go see him right now, so try to bring him home next.
You feel her nodding against the side of your head as she holds you in this embrace. She says, you'll always have a room here in the lodge. Make sure you make use of it.
Try to get everything we settled, and once we're finally done with this, I can come back home. And we can be a family again. Maybe for the first time.
She, you hear that little chuckle as she pulls away from you. She says, yes. Sorry for that, but I'm glad that we have a chance to make it better. And while it's difficult to say, and I don't want you making any more habit of it, we probably only have that chance because of you.
It wasn't an easy thing to do, and I'm still not proud of it, but I do think we're better off without him.
The amends have been made. The family has accepted you back. There is no more need to apologize. There is only the future to look toward. What's done is done. And now, we will be the best people we can be in the situation we have landed ourselves in. That's what my grandmother used to say to me.
It's a wise woman.
Can only be the best people we can be. The situation that's been presented to us. And I wish I had spent more time passing that message on to you, children. But your father always had uses for you. Excuses to keep you all busy. In any event, the time for apologies is past. Now is the time to live. And so, my boy, she'll stroke your cheek. My beautiful little boy. Don't get killed out there.
I won't.
Good. It's a promise, you know. You have to keep those. Viserys keeps reminding me. Akaris keeps reminding me.
And I've been making a few of those, and I intend to keep every one.
Cursed me. Cursed me with the wrong name.
Yeah, Bim. It's too close.
It's too close. It's all your fault. Alright. So, you have your lovely little scene with your mother. As she gives you one last firmly planted, warm kiss on the cheek that by the end of you're struggling to get away. And you're able to return to the party and make your final preparations to transfer to Demiplane and then to Storm Reef Isle. So, we'll pick it up there next time. Only 16 minutes overtime.
Woo!
Woo! Alright, thank you everybody for being here. That's gonna be 1,500 experience.
Woo!
And I'm gonna give inspiration to Jebel and Vendar to do with as you please.
You already have an inspiration. Does
I am in
anybody
need
need
of
an
an
inspiration?
inspiration.
You can have my inspiration.
Sweet.
Anyone else need inspiration?
I'll take inspiration.
Spend inspiration like it's candy.
Alright. And with that, we'll see you next week. Next time on Everybody Loves Raiken.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.